Let's
Do
go.
it.
Let's go. Welcome everybody to episode 1 of the VR CruCast. I'm sure you know all these faces here right in front of you, but I'm going to start from the top. We got Wes from Virtual Strangers. How you doing, Wes?
I'm doing well, GT. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm all better now that we're all together because obviously this was put off because we was going to do it last week and PAX happened. Next up, we got Skiva from Between Realities. How you doing, dude?
What's up, man? I'm so stoked to be here to talk VR with all of you amazing people.
I just can't believe it's actually happening. We got Alex from Between Realities. How you doing?
Fantastic. I'm in the presence of greatness, man. Things could be worse.
Bang in the middle, we got Eric Masher from Q2C Gaming. How you doing, dude?
What's up, fellas? How's it going?
He's all good. And then we've got the leaker. We got Sadly it's Bradley. How you doing?
Very good.
Are you the hypothesis? You're more the hypothesis, I guess. Are you? What are you? What would you call yourself at the moment? Because like you've gone from the job simulator guy
Oh God.
to what is now. You're massive. Now,
I call myself the copium supplier. It's
Fair
I
enough.
got a guy if you need a hookup. Just
Yeah, I got a guy. I got a guy.
The leaker is good too. It sounds like you have a
I do like the leaker.
a bathroom problem.
Yeah.
that's literally what I thought. I was like, man, do I need to go out and get some adult diapers? Oh my God.
He thinks he's finished, but he's still going. And next up, we've got I Am Root. How you doing, man? For Virtual Strangers.
I'm doing good. Every day I wake up is a good day, I say. So it's a good day.
Oh, very profound, very profound. So we are here together. Hopefully each week we're going to hopefully do 10 episodes and we're just going to chew the fat about what's going on in the VR community and stuff. And obviously we're going to start with the biggest topic of the day, definitely, which is the Quest Pro. And I just want to get your feedback, guys. Like, one, do you think this was real? That it was just found? Do you know what I'm saying? What do you guys think? What do you guys think about today?
I don't think this thing is real, man. I don't know. I've watched this guy's interview twice now. He's like mentioning stuff like I'm a VR player and I watched, and I play like Roblox and Arizona Sunshine. And I'm like, really? Arizona Sunshine? That was 10 years ago. Nobody plays Arizona Sunshine. He didn't say anything about Beat Saber, and everybody knows that everybody's first game they play is Beat Saber. So I don't know. It seems a little fake to me.
That would explain the Twitter reply I got earlier, and I had no idea what he was on about. He basically said what you just said, Roblox and Arizona, because I watched it as well, and this guy was talking about his first headset, I think was the Rift S, and then he started talking about the Quest 2. I hate to say it, he sounds a little bit nicely simple to be sort of in on something. He sounds really natural to me.
Sounds like someone's confusing Roblox and Rec Room to me.
Do you reckon?
Like he went into
you
Rec Room.
could-
It's like, oh, Roblox is really cool. This is great.
You can play Roblox in VR. My son does it often, actually. So I would say, I haven't seen this interview you guys are talking about, but that aspect of it, it sounds like the guy might be legitimate. I wouldn't consider him someone that I would call a VR enthusiast.
Yeah.
But someone who's a gamer who also has VR, who probably touches it once every 3 months. That's what that sounds like to me.
That's exactly right. Just because he's not like in the know, like not, believe it or not, I don't understand how this works, but just because you're into VR doesn't mean you like play all the games. And like sometimes people get like 1 or 2 games. I don't understand it, but I feel like this very well could be real because I can't imagine Meta like planning a leak like this with such terrible footage and like I don't know. I mean, could go either way.
On the other hand, though, what are the odds? I mean, if you're going to leave it in a hotel room,
That's it.
what are the odds that one of the attendants happens to be someone who has a gaming channel and recognizes what they're
exactly.
looking at? That's kind of crazy.
Billion.
That's why when people say it might not be true, you hear them out because you're like, I get that. I get the chance of this guy just like cleaning up hotel rooms or something, sees a black bag. I mean, I do wonder if he's gotten into any trouble for this because he was saying he was allowed to go in the bag because it wasn't a transparent bag, so he doesn't know what he's throwing away. So that part of the story as well, you're like, oh, he's ticked that box. It makes sense. But still, I mean, how many people out there would even know what it is? I could speak to so many of my friends and they wouldn't even know what VR headset I'm using or,
And to have a gaming channel. I mean, there's not not everybody has a gaming channel that's out there. And, you know, the guy, I don't know. And then he says, like, I didn't put it on. I mean, how many people are not putting this on? You took the time to take the box open. You opened it up. You're lifting up you didn't even put it on your head to see what it felt like. I mean,
he
or
had the
turn it
chance.
on.
He had the chance for the ultimate thumbnail. The open mouth with the Cambria, and he ruined
Oh
it.
my God. Yes. That's his new gaming logo. It would be him with the Cambria on with the open mouth.
Yeah.
So to clarify, when people say this may not be real, are they saying that this may be like a PR stunt orchestrated by Meta to get people talking about it? Is that what you mean by it's not real?
Yes.
Well, it wouldn't necessarily have to be from Meta. Like if you're a game dev and you want to leak this stuff, how do you go about it? Well, you have one of your friends who maybe someone with a gaming channel, or maybe someone who actually works at a hotel to kind of come up with this story. And that's a nice, safe way to get it out there and cover your ass. Right?
Oh, you're making it reasonable. You're making it reasonable. I'm so convinced.
Channel. So
Come on, Brad. What do you reckon?
I don't know. He seems like you said, kind of a simple. A lot of people, they buy a headset and they don't really use it that much. That's just the reality of where the industry is. The one thing I really liked about the interview is he talked about how the person apparently claimed it after he posted a picture online, and all they had to do to prove that they're the owner is explain the contents in the bag. Well, he already posted a picture of it online, so it could have been like
Right.
it could have been like Apple or someone pretending to be this owner and like getting
Ooh.
trade secrets. That's what my mind goes into. That's more interesting to me.
Pico
But
now
yeah.
has the Quest Pro.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, you can see like in all the videos, he's clearly wearing like a hotel uniform and everything. Like the sleeves are long and stuff. Like I feel he was just genuinely not. He may be afraid to go too far with what he was doing with someone else's stuff while on the job, and you know maybe his coworkers are looking at him when he's digging through stuff. But I don't know. He seemed pretty normal to me. I thought it was I guess the question is, did they leave the bag there on purpose for someone to find? But even then, I don't know.
Because
I'm
it
not
looks like there's
skeptical.
like some blurred details out of one of the pictures. It says like an engineer development kit or something. Now I've been to events, and certain items that are unreleased to the public are there, and they're for people to try. And that's where I think to myself, is that what happened? Like someone was there and they meant to show this off to another dev or another engineer, and they've simply left the bag, you know?
Yeah, I was told recently that they were traveling a lot to show off the Cambria to certain select people. So it makes total sense to me why there's just a Cambria in a random hotel, even if it's a long stay hotel. I don't know if you caught that, but it's like normally not one of those short stay hotels. It's someone that's going to spend at least more than a week generally at those kind of hotels. But I don't know. It seems legit in my brain. I don't know.
What
Me
about you,
too.
Roots? What do you think?
I would have to agree. It seems like this guy ticks all the boxes to be a legit story, or you know, like a controlled leak. I mean, that's the biggest thing is this guy's got the channel. I mean, everything's lined up. It just seems too convenient. This guy needs to play the lotto. Like he's just fucking, it fell right in his lap. He's got this channel, and I bet this is good for his channel.
Just to ask about the channel, I know he had a channel, but is he a big channel? Is he? I don't know.
Now he is.
Yeah, right.
Well, he might know.
Right.
Yeah, he'd hope so. He might get that one. You know that one video everyone like. Yeah, he done really well. He might be that one. I don't know. Is he big on any platform in any particular? No. Oh,
I mean, I saw a picture of it, but I didn't look it up to see how many people he had. But I was just a little dubious too, because he knew to blur stuff out and knew what to blur out. He just didn't blur the whole back out. He blurred out like the model number, the serial numbers, and everything. And he said it in the interview. I went through and I used my editing tool to blur out this. That's why the video didn't go up right away. That's why he only put pictures up, because he wanted to go through and edit and blur out stuff. So how did this hotel guy who's got whatever kind of a channel know that I better make sure I take all this model number or serial, whatever number he talked about, getting it off the package?
yeah. I guess some other people wouldn't care. Like they just wouldn't care. They just do the video.
Just do it.
They just take the pictures. That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. You have to hear people out when they say this could be bullshit. It's like it could be PR bullshit. It could be.
That's the biggest thing right there. Like, why would you take the time to cover anything up? If you just had a channel and you got it discovered, Like you're taking a risk with your job, even doing it anyway.
I think.
But
so,
what is it?
yeah.
What does the serial number matter? It matters if it's gonna, because you can link it back to whose headset it was, who leaked this, right? So I
Well,
would
but
say
isn't it-
that alone would tell
Isn't
you.
it okay to not have malicious intent with your leak? You know, like, yeah, he wants to leak this because he knows that it's the first set of the first images of this thing. All eyes are going to be on his channel. So you want to capitalize on an opportunity like that. But you also don't want to put sensitive information out for the idiot who left it behind, for lack of a better way of putting it.
That's true.
You know, like he's not trying to like ruin this guy's life. He's just trying
No.
to capitalize on the opportunity.
Let's talk about this guy. This guy's screwed, by the way. If this is true, whoever this
Yeah.
guy is, this is his last time he'll ever develop
I mean,
anything.
let's put it. Do you think this has done Meta any favors?
I mean, we're talking about it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what I
but we
mean.
would talk about it later. Yeah, I don't know.
How many
Maybe.
thousands of views, right? Because in my mind, yeah, I think to myself, there is a chance I'll probably get one, but I don't think many people will buy one. If the price is true that everyone's hearing, that it's going to be over $1,000, even $1,000, people are going to be like, do I need it? But at the moment, there is a buzz for it that might not have been there before if just review units went out.
That's true. And my hype levels went up because of this. Like
Yeah,
I've
so,
already written this off. Like I'm not going to buy one of these if it's more than $1,000. There's no way.
yeah,
But seeing it IRL and seeing just how awesome and different it looks, it has my attention, right?
yeah.
Same.
That's what I'm saying, man. The only thing is we didn't see the bit on that goes on your face, because when I first ever saw it, it looked like there was no, what's it called? What is it? So like you
Like a
got,
light blinder.
The light
Face
blocker.
gasket.
Blinders.
yeah.
gasket.
There was nothing like that in the box, and I really wanted to see that. But I believe the picture with Mark Zuckerberg, he had that on at the time of that picture to show basically. That's what I mean, and that was only like, when was that picture? A week ago, roughly, of Facebook.
I think the recent one didn't, but a more earlier
Yeah.
one did have what it looked to be, because it was blurred out back then. There seemed to be a face gasket. There's also like CAD images that show there might be some sort of attachable face gasket as well. So I think hopefully it's in the box. That would suck if they're trying to, sleaze
sell
out
it,
like
like-
extra money.
Yeah, you buy the headset and you're like, I can see my whole room still. But you spend some extra money. But yeah, so
That would not surprise me at all. That's exactly the way the Quest 2 is. The Quest 2 sucks out of the box, in my opinion. Like,
It
if you don't
does.
spend an extra
But it's
$100,
budget.
you're not going to enjoy it.
I
But
think
it's
they
a budget headset. This
I-
isn't budget.
No way.
No, that's true.
Hmm.
I think they took a back step with the head strap from Quest 2 to Quest 1. I really actually thought the head strap was much better on the original
Agreed.
Quest. So,
It was.
are any of you guys going to be getting this headset for yourself, not for your channels? Would you get it for yourself? Are you interested in it for yourself?
I would if it's $1,500, I really just can't. Do you know what I mean? But I would absolutely love to have this thing. I want something that's light and thin, that has micro OLED displays, pancake lenses. I want all of these things that this headset does. But I mean, let's be real. I'm not going to remortgage my house for it either.
Well, here's the thing: like for $1,500, you're not even getting micro OLED displays. You're getting quantum dot, right? Brad?
Yeah, it's supposed to be quantum dot, which is a type of LCD with local dimming zones, so similar to like MacBook Pros have. So it's not OLED.
I mean, look, I think this can be a great headset, and it interests me on standalone grounds, and it interests me as a PCVR headset, as a PCVR player, because I think it could be possibly the best PCVR headset we have out there. I want, I'm not making the final decision on that until I use it, but I think it's got a good possibility. And if it does, and if I'm a high-end PCVR user, then I want it. Again, but the price tag, I mean, Meta's not sending me one. Now, GT, they might send you one. They're not sending me one.
I don't
Meta
know.
hates me. Meta hates me, dude.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm more of a. I mean, they said we're Meta ambassadors, but I think we're definitely more of a Quest ambassador. Because at the end of the day, who's going to be interested in me, apart from now when there's buzz? That I haven't done a video, by the way, but that's the only time that anyone will probably be interested in what I'm doing with this headset, because he's going to be playing the same games, as far as I'm aware. So really, does the consumer care? I don't know. That's the thing of the hype.
And do they care if the consumer cares? this is not a consumer headset, as they'd said. So do they even
But
care
the
if
box,
the average
though.
Joe?
The
I know
box.
it looks just like
The
it.
box
I know.
looks like a consumer product. Like it looks like he's trying to get your attention. You walk into a shop, you're like, wow, that looks like the next Quest. That's what it looks like to me.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I
Meta
think-
knows. I'm sorry.
I was
Go
going to
ahead.
say, I think calling it by not calling it a consumer headset, it helps them justify the price point. You know, then they'll still advertise it and push it for consumers, but they'll never call it a consumer headset, so that way they can get away with charging $1,000 or whatever. But I absolutely still think that consumers, as soon as, especially if
It is a
people have
consumer
demo,
headset. It is a
they're gonna
consumer
use it.
headset.
Yeah,
You can
they're gonna
buy
want
it
it.
just
Yeah.
like anything else. That is a consumer product. You know,
Yeah.
you haven't got to be.
So it's a Vive then. It's a Vive.
Yeah, they do. They call everything a not for consumer headset.
Yeah.
I genuinely
This-
think that Meta doesn't really know which market this is going to take off for. They're just throwing everything at once, and we'll see. We'll see what sticks. And they had success with Quest 2, so why not make the box look exactly the same as the
Why-
Quest 2 box? You know?
Why are they throwing stuff out there though? Why are they throwing shit to see what sticks? Why? Why do you think what's happening that makes them need to do this?
Well, I think because you look at their stock and everything, and all the billions they spend per year, and their investors are, especially in a recession period, are looking at them with torches and pitchforks, and they're like, okay, well, we need to show that we can actually make a profit on this huge category we're spending tons of money on. So the best way to do that is make a more mainstream product. I say mainstream in a way where it's like, hey, let's not sell it at a loss or whatever as a console. Let's start getting more uses out of it other than just gaming. Because gaming, I mean, there's like I said, we're just talking about the guy who has only played like 2 games on his Quest 2 headset since he got it on release day. That's probably most people. Honestly, that's probably most people. So the software sales are not keeping up for all the money that they're losing on hardware. Well, before they raise the price. So.
Right. And if you think about where all the money is too in the VR space, like anybody who's making actual money in the VR space is doing so in like training and simulation and like these like big, huge contracts with like massive corporations or government contracts or whatever. So they need to make a product that will function there as well, so they can pitch this product as a premium training simulation device or whatever, and hopefully nail down some of these like massive corporation contracts that will actually pull the money in, because selling to us is never going to do that, at least not anytime soon.
Then why call it a Quest Pro also? I
Yeah.
thought they wanted
That's
to get
weird.
away from the Quest line. They wanted to separate, the Cambria line or whatever they were going to call it away from the Quest line and have it be a different thing, and then go to the Quest 3 stay with the Quest line. So they're doing this now, and they're confusing it. Again, GT just said the packaging looks the freaking same as the Quest 2.
Looks
and then
good.
You're going to make it a Quest. Yeah, they're going to make it a Quest Pro. How confusing is that going to be, for people?
I think they're
figure out what
trying
they're gonna
to, the word Quest, I think they're trying to have replace the word Oculus, because like before, Oculus is synonymous with VR, right? But Meta isn't just a VR company. This is Meta way up here, so the product itself, the VR headset line of their stuff, I think they're trying to use the word Quest to replace the word Oculus, and it'll be Meta Quest Pro, Meta Quest Consumer, Meta Quest whatever, and like Quest, like you're always putting on a Quest every time you put on a headset from Meta. That's
Never gonna
that's
work,
my
man.
guess.
It's never going to work. They'll never kill that brand off now. They did such a good job promoting that for all the years that they've done it. Like you said, it's synonymous with the technology now, and it's going to be that way forever. They should just lean into it and give up on this whole rebranding thing. Because it's never going to work.
That's never going to happen. They'll never go back on it now, which is a crying shame, because I agree wholeheartedly.
I just think it opens up their mistakes, are just opening up doors for others. I didn't know. I mean, so moving into PSVR 2 grounds, and we're talking about obviously this headset coming out, and they're trying all this different new tech and stuff, and they're trying to make something that pleases the money spent in R&D. Where are you guys on PSVR 2? I mean, is everyone here? So in reflection, who's going to get the Cambria or the Quest Pro, and who's going to get the PSVR 2? Like, it sounds like a no-brainer to me. Like
PSVR 2.
Yeah, same here.
PSVR
I'm not
all
the
getting,
way.
Yeah.
not getting Cambria. I'm saving my money for PSVR 2 and other stuff. I got my
Another
problem is I'm not 100% happy with Meta headsets to begin with. So I love the design of it. It's the lightness. I would think about Todd, mashing. He works how many hours a day in his headset, and they're trying to target those people, because there's people out there that would do it that aren't crazy like Todd. because that's a fucking, I mean, it's too hot, it's too bulky. But if you can get a streamlined headset and you can make it productive like he uses it for, you know, this, I think that there's a place for it, but maybe it isn't 100% for gamers. But I'm definitely getting the PSVR too. I think it's going to have the best games on it that VR has to offer.
Yeah, Todd will buy it. He's already said he's going to buy it. So, but again, he works in VR, and that's kind of what this is catered to. Like, he wants to replace his laptop with a VR headset, which is what Meta has tried to push, and he can do it because he works and he does it now. There's a lot of places you can work in VR and do it. But again, it's a huge price tag, and he's, you know, he's a small minority of a target that you're trying to hit here. We're already in a niche market. They're doing a niche of a niche market. I mean, and trying to sell and make, you know, millions and millions of dollars here. And it's just very confusing to me of where they think they're going to make any money here. And that's why I really think they're doing this they do this almost as a way to test out new things and technology so that when they're ready to do the Quest 3, they can do it more affordably, and it won't be, you know, they can put the technology into the Quest 3, but not have it be a $1,000 headset. They can make it affordable headset like the Quest 2.
So I do think that anybody who's using a Quest already to do work will, like, those people are all going to upgrade. You know, like the people who have already been converted to using VR as a tool for getting work done, they're all using Quest 2s now. And as soon as the camera becomes available, they're going to be leaning into their companies to upgrade them. You know, like, again, like, I think like it's not like us, the small peeps who will just like running to buy this, but like the companies who are already adopting VR, they're going to see a camera and they'll be like, what? Okay, cool. So how many do we need? 50? Great, done. Next question. You know, like, moving on. Like, companies like that have budgets for this kind of stuff, you know, because frankly, a lot of them are saving money by making training simulations and programs that they don't have to like rebuild an entire machine to train their people, you know, so they're already all in on the VR stuff. So I think that there will be a natural progression for anybody who's already an adopter of VR in like the enterprise space.
Yeah, you know, Pro simply really does, in my mind, just mean more expensive. Meta's really trying to push this as a laptop replacement. They want flat apps on there. They want you to put that headset on, maybe even grab a keyboard. You know, they have the keyboard tracking available, and be able to work, because they need to appeal to a large, broad audience. They've tried pushing this to gamers for so long. And while they've captured a lot of us, there's just so many people out there that are just on the couch with thumbsticks and they don't care. And they're just not super interested because they haven't tried it or whatever the case may be. Fortnite isn't in there. I don't know. But really, they got to get more of a grand, massive audience and appeal to a lot of different types of people. And Pro simply means more expensive. Companies hopefully will buy this, which is also weird because their terms of service, there's a lot of stuff in there that really prevents a lot of companies from making money with the Quest, but using it as a tool is a little different. So their terms of service as far as business goes is very confusing, which is also confusing about the Pro part. So I'm interested to see how this tactic works.
We haven't said anything about the AR side. What do you guys think about the AR side of this headset? Is that going to be a
I'm
big enough
excited
part of the AR? Does AR make it a headset that's more attractive to people?
AR's fucking cool. Like, AR is really cool.
How long until it's not a gimmick though? Like, we're such the early stage. I think it's going to be gimmick city for this headset. Probably you're going to have some cool gimmicky things, but you know, maybe they've been working on stuff behind the scenes, really amazing AR games or whatever, but I don't know.
Well, I think the AR thing is like what Skiva was saying. I think that's the laptop replacement aspect of it. You know, like you put on your headset and you open up 4 or 5 different apps that all share space on your wall in front of you, rather than you like having to stay into this one screen that's sitting in front of you on your desk, you know? So I think the AR aspect will be like the workflow aspect. Like, cool, I can see my room around me. I can see, you know, like what's happening in the office right over here, but also I have my infinite screens. Also, I have, you know, my connection to all the apps or whatever, and I don't even need my computer screen anymore. Yeah. So that's where I see the practical application of the AR stuff.
Totally. And let's not forget, a $3 trillion company is about to enter this market, and they're going to be focused on this mixed reality part, right? They're going to be focused, Apple, right? They're coming in, they have a headset. They've been working on ARKit for how long now? No one's cared. They keep showing things at conferences and expos where, you know, everyone's looking through the phone, looking through their iPad. Nobody does that. This is
I know. What are you saying,
for
Brad?
this headset?
Who watched the Apple thing, like waiting for something to happen? Yeah, I did, man. I did. Oh, Bradley did it. I should have just actually phoned Bradley and been like, "Should I watch this?" He'd be like, "No, don't worry
Yeah,
about it."
just let us know, Brad. Tell us what.
Yeah.
Actually, I would just prefer it if you would just tell me what to watch and what not to watch.
Yeah, exactly. In
Save me some
general,
time.
Sorry, I slept through that whole event. I knew it was just iPhones and a watch. I do want to add like my opinion on the whole mixed reality thing. I do kind of feel the first generation is going to be a little wonky, especially with the way they're kind of doing it. I've talked to some familiar names and they have strong opinions about why Meta's version of mixed reality, basically they actually do two black and white cameras and they have one single high resolution color camera in the middle. And they're actually using software to overlay the colors onto those two feeds. So it's very weird because you're going to have like a lot of weird like color edge distortion and stuff in the cameras. And like people are like, yeah, I don't know how useful that's going to be for some things, but I do think there is a lot of like FOMO for AR, and this is actually very good for us because, or at least people that love high-end hardware, because all the investments, if you put AR as like the title of your company and what you're working on, you get millions of dollars compared to VR. And even though that MR is still a VR product, that AR just allows more innovation and pushing things forward. I don't know. We'll see if there is much use case scenarios with Cambria's AR, but I definitely do think every high-end headset from now on is going to be stuffing in those mixed reality cameras.
It is because I think with AR, like AR's been the technology that we've always seen in films. It's not been VR. It's always been something like holographically put into the real world at the same time. So yeah, I can definitely see that.
I do also want to just go on record and say quickly that I trash Horizon Worlds regularly. Like I think Horizon's Worlds is just a waste of time. I think it sucks and I really don't see it ever going anywhere. But Horizon Workrooms, on the other hand, I think is extremely awesome.
Yeah,
I've been in there multiple times and it is great. Like the pass through to see your keyboard, the connection to your computer on your VR screens is super smooth. It's great to sit there and like chat with people and get work done. And I absolutely think that Horizon Workrooms has potential to blow up and be used by a lot of people. Horizon Worlds, not even close, but Horizon Workrooms has my seal of approval.
Nice. Horizon Worlds for me was very confusing. It was like no one wanted it or needed it, but they were making it anyway. And I kind of thought, who's this for? Because it seems like everyone's got somewhere already to be that they're happy in. But then I went in there and I did a video, and it's a randomly growing video all the time, probably because it's got the word metaverse in it. Like people look up metaverse. And I went into a comedy club. And it's the first time I kind of felt like I was in a real comedy club in a way. I know there was one in Altspace, but Altspace, everyone just looks like they're all related. It's weird. So yeah, I went into, do you know what I mean? It's like, what's going on? But there was like guys hitting on these girls, like proper all around this bar. And I thought, my God, I feel like I'm in a bar. And that was pretty cool. But yeah, I know no one's got any legs, but it was like, I don't know, it just felt pretty legit. But everything else so far in there has been I don't know, it's cool, but it's kind of like it's not got any. The people are what making a social experience for me. You know, it's things, interactions, having a laugh. VR chat, you can guarantee you go in there and you're going to be shocked or laughing pretty quickly. You know, as Horizon, I'm not really sure where it's supposed to be.
I think it's for developers and people who are collaborative creators, which most people I would say are not. Most people are not developers who are trying to have a little sandbox that they can try a couple of fresh ideas in, or most people aren't trying to do world building with their friends. You know, like I love virtual worlds, but I don't love all of the work that goes into making them. Like I love strolling in right at the end and seeing this amazing, beautiful thing.
I'm looking forward to Neo's Mario Kart when I get to stroll in there.
You guys are crushing it.
Yeah, it's gonna be legit.
I'd like to see that in Horizon Worlds.
But listen, it's all about so I think the Rec Room audience would totally disagree with all of this stuff, right? There's a million people in Rec Room, and you can get into Rec Room from all different kinds of platforms. It's got a huge, massive audience that almost dwarfs everything else, right? So so just like Internet Explorer with Windows, right? Microsoft was like, oh, we're going to get onto the browser game. So we're just going to stick this thing on everyone's machine and make it the default. And that's kind of what Meta's doing with Horizon. They're saying everyone loves Rec Room. Let's clone it, make it ours, and put it on the headset. It's there. People won't even know anything else exists because this is already there.
Yeah, that's what
So
I'm
I think-
saying. Like when I went in there, I was like, oh my God, there's actually lots of people here, you know? And I met this one lady and she was like, oh yeah, that's where you need to go. That's where people are hanging out. And it was, yeah, obviously it's got its own social circle. It's got its already, you know?
Right.
But yeah.
I see these different social platforms almost as countries or states, right? They all have really cool things to offer to certain types of people, certain demographics, people looking for different types of experiences. And all of them offer something awesome, even Horizon. Even though I don't really like it, I'm a Neos guy, right? But I mean, it's there, it serves a purpose, and everyone can get together and build together and create together. And it's an amazing feeling to create things with people. So I think it actually will succeed, even though all the other platforms are better.
I think basically the key to getting users to come back is figuring out what is the highest retention rate software for VR right now. It's all the social platforms. Like telepresence is huge, and that's probably the big thing that they've been focusing on with like eye and face tracking is they want to make that telepresence experience even more richer. You look at VR chat, Neos, the users come back every day. VR needs that. That kind of shows better health than a lot of like these users that buy a Quest 2 and then never open up or leave it in their closet for years. So I think that's where the money is, and I think Meta it's why they're focusing on Horizons and Workrooms, because those are social only experiences, and those will be big if they can at least support it well.
I don't
Well,
actually.
plus
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go
Rich.
ahead.
No, go.
I was
go,
just
go.
gonna say. Plus, they know Sony's like Sony's about to come crushing in
PlayStation
here
Home.
with
Imagine if PlayStation
smashing
Home
things
launched.
with the video
tried.
games, right? All the games and stuff, and so they can't compete with there's a reason, Bradley, why people put on the headset and then they play for months and then put it down. It's the games, at least if from the gaming standpoint, the games aren't deep enough, most of them. And so they're used to playing AAA games and they put it on and they're wowed by VR, and then they don't have the love like we have and they kind of fade away. But Sony's about to bring everybody into those AAA games, and it's going to be a different world. And so I think Wes, you were even saying this on our show, that Facebook is Meta, they kind of realize that. And so they've been shifting for a while, and they're going to let Sony do their thing. And then they'll come back in at a different date with their new headset that's geared for gamers in a year or two, when everything's more solidified.
I think that's an interesting point, though. I mean, PlayStation really could see a shift here and decide to do something in the social platform, which they haven't really done since they did. Remember, like GT said, remember it was
amazing.
Homes. Yeah,
Like,
it was really cool. It
yeah.
never really took off the way they wanted it to, but it was cool, man. I mean, you could do a lot of stuff in there. But if you had that in VR and people want to get in there and it's a comfortable headset and it's easy to do, and you have 10 million people, whatever ends up being their install base, getting in there. If PlayStation shifts to that idea, we want to be part of that metaverse, that social VR, area, they could really dominate in there. And Horizon sucks. And I don't understand how Meta, with all this money and wanting to be a social VR platform, can't get their shit together after how many years? I don't get it.
Mhm.
Almost like
Well,
the uncle dad trying to dance. Sorry.
Exactly. They're like so
Well, they're-
far behind.
They're kind of pigeonholed into this kind of limited hardware right now. And I think as the hardware comes along, we're going to start to see these apps like Horizon become more and more capable, because there's going to be hardware
That is
that,
true.
that actually has some capability behind it. I think it sucks now because the hardware kind of sucks now, and it'll get better over time.
Well,
What do you
I'm sitting
think-
here. I'm sitting here thinking about like before the show started recording. Roots, we were talking about the games that we play, flat screen games, and you were talking about games like World of Warcraft. Like this is something that keeps pulling you back, and I really do think that the biggest titles in the world are games with that social element as well. I think one of the reasons why Fortnite, here's why I really think that Fortnite is huge as it is. A, it's free to play. B, it's cross-platform compatible. no matter what you're on. And that's what people are looking for, is this opportunity to jump into a world and do something with their friends in a way that they're not hindered. So it doesn't matter if you have a PlayStation, I have an Xbox, we're playing Fortnite because it's free and it's cross-platform, and now we're together. You know, when Firewall Zero Hour came out on the PlayStation VR, I was like excited, because now I finally had a game that allowed me to go in and connect with
team.
people.
Yeah.
I could have a squad.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So it is social and games that have come together that create that experience that gets me to put the headset back on every single time. And then when I see something like this trailer for this new Firewall Ultra get released, that gets me really excited, because it immediately reminds me of that feeling that I had when I was waiting for Firewall to come out. Like, here's something online in VR that I can really sink my teeth into, and that I can hit up my buddies to come and join me with. And like, that is, in my opinion, like, that's the recipe. It's, can we do it together? Is it accessible? Is it good? Boom.
I just want to go
How
back
about
to
this?
talking about VR chat quickly. When I haven't got that many friends in VR chat. I haven't really got any friends in VR chat, but I'm sure some of you have. Have you ever spent a lot of time in there where you thought maybe it wasn't healthy, or maybe you thought, I'm in here a bit too much? Because I've been in there, like, I've been to karaoke bars, I messed around, and I wish I had friends in there. Sounds I do, because I would hang out in there and I would sing at
wish I
karaoke
had
bars and I would mess around, you know. And I kind of think to myself, like, have any of you been to that point where you're like, because one of my friends got there in World of Warcraft. Basically, I've never played World of Warcraft because his wife walked out on him while he was doing a raid, because all he did was play World of fucking Warcraft. And she did not understand that. She was like, where's our money going? He's like, I'm buying gold. She's like, what gold? It's not real. So to her, she thinks he's going crazy. Like, he's going crazy. In her mind, he's going crazy. So I think to myself, like, how deep does it go? People understanding it. But yeah, with VR chat, man, like, I went in there, I thought it was amazing, and I needed to step out. Anyone been in that position?
No, I know so many people that make VR chat a lifestyle, like 12 hours in, go to bed, wake up, 12 hours in, go to bed. It keeps
Wow.
people crazy. And you know, you have to think about it from a financial side for Meta, if we're going to talk about Horizons a little bit more. Like, if they treat Horizons as a service product, which is they can keep updating it and releasing big worlds every year, like they tried to do with the Super Bowl thing, right? What is the final?
Was it Questies?
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
so weird, dude. Sorry.
That was just dumb.
That's weird.
You have to think about, like, this when people start talking about, like, the 3D landscape of the internet, and like how you can make money, because banner ads clearly will not work in VR. They tried that. That was a disaster. So how are they going to make money from something like Horizons, a free experience? And the truth is, you're starting to see that spectacle come out with, like, you see, like, the Wendy's that's opening up in Horizons and stuff, and they make these, like, weird recreations into experiences in Horizons. So I think there is a lot of money into this, and I do think people, like with the World of Warcraft thing, will spend a lot of money once they get addicted enough, because that's who's probably spending the most money right now, is all these enthusiasts playing these social VR platforms that are free.
Roots? Have you spent money
On what? World of Warcraft?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just bought 5,000 gold.
What's
but
that?
listen,
5,000 gold sounds so much.
Listen,
How
let me
much is that?
explain to you. It's $50. I had to keep
Dude.
I have to keep the Chinese farmers employed. So I'm just keeping the economies rolling.
You're gonna have to earn my respect back, Roots.
Listen, I got a small smidge of time before Wrath of the Lich King. But World of Warcraft was the first I guess metaverse, really. I mean, that was at least one of the first, right? And that was 2004. And so I agree. I think these kind of games are experiences, and I think where World they'll take a stance where with skins, or whatever you can buy, like, because if you're in this world and you're doing all these different things and you have these options eventually to look like a really cool superhero or whatever to your friends, sure, you won't see most of the time.
That's
unless
the
you
other
look
thing,
in the
isn't
mirror.
it? You get to be potentially who you always wanted to be, maybe on the inside, kind of thing. On the
Right, we
outside.
spend the money on skins for at least a lot of people for Fortnite, and it's one of the coolest things. It's weird. You think it wouldn't be, but it actually is cool. The skins, the different characters, whatever. Now imagine you're in the world and you're actually getting to be that character, and everybody sees you as that character. And I'm not talking some chintzy ass VR chat thing, and some of those are really cool. Bradley's was super cool. But I'm talking like AAA level, and you're going to want to be this skin, and it's limited time. And if you don't buy it now, it's gone forever. Everybody, and a year from now, you're not going to be able to buy this or whatever it is. That's the way Fortnite works. The model works, and there's so much money in that.
What sort of character class are you? I'm going to take a guess for it. Wow, I reckon you're either like an angry dwarf or a wizard. Like
I am actually right now. I would usually be a troll, but I can't be.
You can be a troll. What, a baddie?
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm on the cool side, the horde side, not the evil alliance. But I'll tell you what, I'm a healer. I'm a healer, so I like to keep people alive. It's my job to keep people up. Yeah,
that's beautiful. Well,
look, I think we are taking this whole thing with these social platforms and we're simplifying it way too much, right? This is like saying, are you wasting your time when you go hang out with people? Right? Because these platforms aren't just to go in there, sit in front of a mirror and talk with the same people every day. It can be. They can be. They're exactly what you make them to be. I go in and I spend ridiculous amounts of time in Neos. But what am I doing in there? I'm not just hanging out with the same people, so doing nothing. I'm like going in there and bringing different people through. I'm solidifying relationships. I'm building relationships with all kinds of people. I'm creating business relationships, friendships, making friendships bigger and stronger. I'm showing people things that make them fall in love with VR, growing the industry as a whole. So this tool that we have, this social platform tool, whether it be Rec Room or VR Chat or Neos, is a social tool to hang out with people and to make relationships and to build things in your real life. These relationships aren't fake because you're represented by a digital avatar. These are real relationships with real people, and you can use these relationships to do whatever, better yourself, be happy, go to the movies, hang out with people, do business, have meetings. Like, it's such a vast array of things you can use these platforms for. And just saying that you're going in there and hanging out and doing nothing and wasting your time is not the best way to look at how these tools can be used, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's why the onset of face and eye tracking is going to be such a profound thing in the next generation, is because of all of these relationships, and you're going to be able to connect on people on a whole new level now, thanks to advancements in the technology. So that is one thing that Meta's kind of been out on the forefront of. They recognized that a long time ago, and they're focusing mainly on that, and I think it's going to pay off for them in the long run.
PSVR 2 has eye tracking. That's going to be
that's true, and I think that there of course will be some crossover in terms of what Sony does with that versus what Meta does with that. But I honestly think Sony's going to be using that eye tracking more as an interface for gaming. A user UI sort of thing. Interactions in game where that's another input for game devs to use now. So while I think it's the same up to some point, I do think that Sony's use of eye tracking is going to be as different from Meta as their use of VR is going to be different from what Meta does.
Yeah, talking about, I want to talk about quickly the cable, because obviously it's the first time I've seen all of you all together. Just to tell you when I talk to people about it, you saying about be realistic about how many people play VR. They get it at Christmas, play a couple of games, then it's put away. PSVR 2 was probably the one that I think that happened more to than Quest. And the reason I say that is because of the setup process. When I said to my uncle about PSVR 2, the first thing he said was, is it wireless? I said, no, it's got a wire. And he was like, oh, damn. And, I'm not saying he's out, but now that means I've got to try and get him to cross a bridge to play a game to see how good it is, So, because in his mind, he was like, that's the one thing I didn't want to do anymore. I didn't want to set it all up. So do you guys think that the cable is a big issue?
For some people, like for people like Wolveraza, it's the biggest issue ever. I think I would rather have fidelity. I think that Sony's doing it the right way. They're going AAA. They're going to make sure they deliver a AAA experience. And the only way to really do that right now is with that cable. And I for me, when I hook up my cable, I forget that I have it hooked up within a minute, 2 minutes. I'm not sitting there dwelling about it. But here's the thing: how far are we from an adapter that makes it wireless? Nobody said that there can't be an adapter a year from now, 6 months from now, or whenever it comes out, right? They could do wireless at some point. So who knows?
They could, but they put the cable permanently onto the back of the headset. And when people saw that you couldn't remove that cable, I think it killed a lot of people's dreams of it becoming
I heard
wireless.
it could be removed.
Yeah, it can be removed.
Oh, well, that's good. That's really good.
I
Sell
think they
that
had to do
adapter
it.
extra. That could be huge.
Yeah. I think they had to do it, but I think it hurt them to do it. Like, I think they needed to do it because, again, they want the AAA, they want the fidelity, they want the best you can get out of a PC, out of VR gaming. But I think it hurt them because, I mean, how many people now have even jumped from the PlayStation VR to Quest 2 now because it's been pretty much dead for their year and a half. So they said, well, until PSVR 2 comes out, I'm going to go jump to Quest. And now they've gotten used to not having a cord, and it has hurt it. So whether I think it's hurt it or not doesn't mean anything, okay? It's the majority. So I don't think it does, and I could care less about a cord. I still play my Quest 2. If I'm playing PCVR, I still play 90% of the time with my damn link cable because I don't want to have any jank with AirLink or virtual desktop. So again, but it doesn't matter to me. It matters to the majority. And unfortunately, the majority have gotten used to being tetherless with a Quest 2 for 3+ years.
Right. Well, and a PlayStation, you know, if you think about a home console like a PlayStation, this is a living room entertainment center piece. You know, like this is a part of like your like main area, you know, like a Quest 2, for example, that like really to me, that's like a personal headset. Like I can take that into the bathroom with me if I wanted to, because it's me, I have my Quest 2 and I'm having my wireless independent standalone experience. But when you are doing something that's being powered by something like a PlayStation, that's always going to be in your living room. That's always going to be like in the main hub of the world. And now the social aspect of this experience is a much more important thing. You know, like I personally hate casting my Quest 2. A, it looks like crap. B, there's latency in the image. And C, it causes performance issues. Now the game's not running as well. So when you have the corded headset as a part of like your home console experience, you'll always have that like beautiful, amazing social output that's in real time. Everyone in the room can like watch and see what's happening.
Yeah.
And when you make that wireless, it makes it basically impossible.
Yeah, and it probably keeps costs down as well, I'm assuming.
Well, because a lot of people cast to their phone too. Have you ever sat in a room with somebody in a headset and there's this, you have a little fucking phone and there's like 4 people trying to watch it?
I know.
That is not a good social experience at all. Except for the person that's in the headset. Everyone else is like, within 5 minutes, they're not even paying attention to what's going on.
Right. Yeah, that's my point exactly.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to watch Beat Saber on a 7-inch screen? I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, I want to watch Beat Saber on any inch screen I can. It's amazing.
Someone's dog.
So
I think
whether it be Meta or PlayStation with potentially bringing back home, I think the person who's going to win this whole game with the social aspect, at least, will be the company that says, so right now you put on a headset, you turn it on and you're in your home environment. But imagine that you put it on and boom, you're instantly in Horizon, like instantly. So that will automatically bring people to these platforms. If Sony were to do that with PlayStation Home, you put on your PSVR 2 and boom, you're in a room in your PlayStation Home. You go outside, there's people everywhere, right? You're like, you'll just naturally go explore, right? So, I mean, whoever dumps you into a social platform as your default, I think is going to win this whole social game. It'll be interesting to see if anyone does.
It's going to be Meta. That's going to be Meta. That's what they're focusing on. But there's so many different aspects to what VR is going to be, and that's just one of them. And I think as we see more and more companies kind of jump into the space over the next generation, next few years, we're going to see a lot more compartmentalization and kind of divergence in what the focus are for these industry drivers like Sony, like Meta, like Pico, you know.
I still think that the quality of the experience is going to be the thing that drives it the most, you know, because like you said, Skiva, it's really all about the people and the interactions. And Like that's the same for like if I go out to lunch, like if I'm going to go out to lunch with my friends to like have a chat and get, just to enjoy ourselves, it doesn't really matter what restaurant we go to, right? Like it's the people, but if we go to a restaurant and the food comes out and it's just bland and there's like, it's just not appealing or appetizing. Like, sure, we had a great conversation, but next time I would literally rather drive 5-10 minutes down the road to get to this restaurant that has like delicious food and a nice atmosphere and like good music playing, because while sure, at the end of the day, it's the people that's most important. I still would rather do it in a place that's amazing, that is blowing my mind.
But at that, with that view, I feel like that would mean that PCVR would be dominating. It's not.
Well, but it depends how expensive the restaurant is.
Exactly,
Yeah, this is true.
exactly.
This is true.
And it's not also about the graphics, it's an experience, right? And whatever's going on. And I know that VR chat, so you got a better experience in PCVR, and Neos doesn't exist on the Quest yet, but I think they could still create a really cool experience that could trump Neos, no matter how good it looks, just because of the experience. That's the biggest thing I'm running into the most in VR. If you gave me Red Dead VR 2 and it was dumbed down graphically, but I could play on the Quest, I would rather play that over so many built from the ground up PC VR games, because the game is fucking phenomenal, and playing it in VR it's something, it's unique, it's different. I've never experienced a game like this, and it's AAA, and so like it's like a mix. You got to have the social, but you also have to have the game and the graphics, I guess.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Did you all have PSVRs in the beginning? Has everyone here owned a PSVR?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did, but not till late. I didn't get mine until probably, I don't know, maybe 9 months ago. So
after having a Quest is when you got PlayStation.
Yeah. It might even be more than that now, maybe a year ago. I remember when I first started with Virtual Strangers, I was like, I've heard so many stories. I need to go get a PlayStation VR just because I want to experience all these amazing games that I can't experience anywhere else.
The games library is really good still. If you flick through it, it is still a very good games library.
And that's what it is. It's all about the games. I could care less that the hardware is inadequate now. The hardware is still a good headset. It's for a 6-year-old headset. But I could care less that there's a ton of screen door. I mean, my first game I got onto when I got that PSVR was Farpoint, and I played it in one sitting. It was the first game I ever put on with the headset, and I played it all night long, and I got through 90% of the game in one sitting.
Farpoint's so good.
And I could care less about the screen door. The screen door was gone for me in seconds because the gameplay is so good. And you know what I mean? And the aim controller is just a phenomenal peripheral, and you forget about it. So there are still games now that I would rather play on PSVR than I'd rather play on Quest 2.
I agree.
Yeah. So Roots was saying about Red Dead. It leads us nicely onto VR mods, and I think it was Eric. You was talking about Prey Dogs. Recently done something with the Unreal.
Yeah, he's doing he's basically making an injector. He's making an VR injector for all Unreal games, whether that be, I think, from what I can tell, 3, 4, and 5. So any game that was made in Unreal 3, Unreal 4, and then what upcoming Unreal 5 will be available to basically, he's making an injector for it, so it'll make it super easy to make any of these games modded into VR.
It'll basically turn any kind of Unreal game into a Luke Ross mod. You'll still be playing with a gamepad unless some modder picks it up and decides to implement motion controls.
That's garbage. I'd never play a game with a VR game with a regular controller. Actually, this is so exciting. And I met Wes. It made me think of what you've been saying Sony should be doing all along, right? Like make it to where every game just has that option for a VR mode, even if it's just put me in 3D and let me play it. There was a thing
though. There was a hybrid murmur going around, and then suddenly it's just all gone quiet again. I haven't really heard anything about this hybrid feature. Do you guys know much about that?
I was just going to say the Fortnite, that story that just came out recently, and it makes so much sense. And they've put Fortnite on every console. And the biggest thing I think Sony wants to do, and Epic as well, is bring people into VR, right? All the flat gamers. And so they can do it. They can bring Fortnite and other games in there as they are, bring them into VR. You're still in the amazing environment, but your gameplay doesn't change. So if you're really good at VR, guess what? You're still going to be really good at Fortnite. You're still going to be good at Fortnite. You're not going to come in and all of a sudden you got to be first.
Yeah, but you've got
person
to
and you're trying
physically
to
aim the
and-
guns routes. It's not like a cursor.
that's the thing.
That's
It's like
different.
we've got that. We've got Pop One.
You got to
We
swing the axe.
we don't need another Pop One. We got Fortnite. So I think by allowing people, because that's the biggest turnoff for a lot of people, whether it's Call of Duty or Fortnite, they got their game they love it the way it is with the game pad as it is. And so you can bring them in, and now they're in the game. And like Red Dead 2 is so immersive with the controller or not. It doesn't make a difference. I guarantee. I know a lot of people, it has to be first person, but this is the analogy I would say. Like I played Hades. I've played a lot of amazing flat game, third person games, and I could have the exact same stance and say, you know what? It's not first person. I'm not playing it. It's bullshit. So there's a place for third person games. There always will be. So why would it be any different in VR? You know what I mean? So I think it makes a perfect sense. It's a great way to draw people into VR that have no interest to ever try it. So.
And to answer your question, GT, the hybrid the hybrid games, this is something that made its way into the media because Brian from Without Parole leaked it after the developer the PSVR 2 developer conference in I think it was last August. We hadn't heard a lot about it since then until about, I don't know, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago. There were a couple of suits from Sony at some trade show in Japan that talked about some of the features for developers to develop for PSVR 2. And it sounds like a lot of the software development kit was kind of built around this idea of making ports easier, not only ports from other VR platforms onto PlayStation, but flat games into VR. And so yeah, it sounded like they were talking exactly about that, hybrid games, even though they didn't use that term.
No.
There actually was some news about it recently.
Dude.
Can we hear from Brad on this?
I don't really care about flat game conversions very often. I would be honest. I like you can always tell when a game's built from the ground up for VR, and I want to support the people that put the effort into doing that because that's not an easy effort and there's not much payoff. So,
but is Skyrim VR not like amazing?
It's amazing with mods. Otherwise, it's
It's amazing
garbage.
without mods. I
No,
played the
I don't think
PlayStation
so.
version and loved it.
I thought it was actually really bad without mods. To be honest, it felt really jank, and it really did feel like a conversion again, even back then, in my opinion. But I'm clearly.
It's only when you start looking at the mods do you realize how limited it was originally. That's what I think. That's what happened to me when I saw all these mods. I was like, oh yeah, you couldn't fucking move your hands properly. Like you couldn't do these things that I think I actually imagined I could. If that makes sense back then. I didn't see them not there until someone basically said, oh yeah, you can't do that.
I think it's just the quality of life stuff. It was just super apparent. Like all the quality of life mods for Skyrim VR is just way useful. It almost felt like that they put almost no effort into thinking about these things when they ported it to VR, but
well, it was 2016 and I would agree. I think most people didn't. Most companies, right? They just kind of slapped it over.
Fallout 4 was around the same time, I believe, because that's got similar mods. I go into Fallout
and it's good
4,
too.
Yeah, Fallout 4 is beautiful.
Yeah, I've been playing it recently, semi-recently, and for the first time actually, and I'm just blown away at how good it is. And people keep telling me to mod it, but I haven't done that yet. I'm still playing vanilla Fallout 4 VR, and it's great.
Yeah, I like playing VR mods with controllers. I've not got too much of a problem with it. I do want touch controllers. I think the recent Resident Evil mods are probably the most impressive, I think, in my mind. Like, they are very close. Because I know what Brad's saying. I get it completely. But sometimes these mods are so fucking close to like a real VR game at a certain point. There's not many. I mean, I'm trying to think of some. I think Firewatch was a pretty good one for me.
Very good.
Resident Evil 8 was definitely one.
Lost Ember was. Well, I guess that's not
amazing.
That was actually wasn't that an actual release?
Yeah, that was
right?
a port. Yeah, that was a
good.
port. But I did the RE7 VR mod last night, like the updated one with the new textures and the new lighting and stuff, and it was just beautiful, man. I mean, the gameplay was exactly the same as it was before. Great to
isn't
be
bad.
in that game. Yeah, great to be in that game with your hands. You know, amazing work from Prey Dog. But when you talk about these mods, be it Resident Evil 7 or Red Dead 2 or what have you, what makes them great is the budget that went behind the game.
Yes.
These are big AAA games. And I think that we can't undersell that. And what that's going to mean going into PSVR 2, if we start to see these hybrid games coming out, even if they aren't completely built from the ground up for VR, it's still going to be a AAA world that you're in inside a next gen headset. And for a lot of people, that's going to be enough.
Yeah.
I get what Brad's saying though. I would rather play a AAA VR game than I would a AAA mod. Okay, because I do want to go support those people that are doing that. The people that are putting their asses out there and try and making a game that they might lose money on, or because people don't want to pay more than $20 for a VR game. The people out there that are putting tons of money and tons of time into doing this when they know there's a good chance they might not make any money. Look at Ubisoft. They canceled Splinter Cell because they pretty much figured we can't make any money on it. But there are other companies out there like, Saints and Sinners, that are putting out AAA games and still continuing to do it. And, and I want to support those. So I will support those. I'm not saying I won't play mods. I love mods, but I will definitely always support the VR from ground up game.
Right. And it's important to say that you don't have to pick, man. You can like both. Yeah. Like I agree. I would prefer a built from the ground up big budget VR game. Of course I would prefer that, but those games are very few and far between if you're talking about big budget VR games. And that's where the mods come in right now. And where I think, these kind of initiatives from Sony are going to come in over the next few years.
Well, and these mods have served a purpose in the last couple of years, specifically for Sony and all these big companies. They've opened their eyes.
Yeah.
They didn't want to look at it. And it's like somebody grabbed their head and forced it and rubbed their nose in it and said, you need to fucking do this. And so I think without the mods, we'd be way further behind for AAA gaming for sure.
And the thing that excites me the most about this whole conversation is the idea that this injector is basically going to do 99% of the work of taking a regular flat screen game and turning it into VR. Like you guys are saying, like sometimes I want to use a gamepad, sometimes I can't use a gamepad in this port, blah, blah, blah. If the game is like 99% there, I think modders and people who have those kinds of skills will be way more apt to take a crack at getting it over the finish line, because it's already pretty much done. It's not like they have to start from the very beginning to pull their hands into Resident Evil 7. They inject it. Oh, now all I have to do is these couple of things to like fully flesh it out and make it the VR experience that I want. So I think it will incentivize people to help make those experiences give us like our hand presence and things like that, where otherwise maybe it wouldn't be just by running the injector, because it's like you're almost done, like it's gotten it pretty close.
Do you know what I find really interesting is when you come across one like Dying Light, where it's actually already in the game, like the developers were already making it. How could you make a game, be in that world in VR and go, do you know what, no, we won't release it? I don't get that personally. So yeah, when you come across one like that, and it's a real shame that it's not finished. It's definitely irksome in places, but to know that was there, it had the chance. That winds me up a lot. Personally.
Only game
Alien
got me sick in
Isolation
VR.
I haven't done the Dying Light, but I've done Alien Isolation. It's the same thing. It was a VR mode that the developer decided not to finish. And as it so happens, everyone who's played it absolutely loves it, although it isn't perfect.
So why hasn't somebody done the same thing for Dying Light then with the injector or whatever? Because, you have to go in and you got to put the line in there and it's not perfect, but I'm sure Alien Isolation wouldn't have been if you had to do the same thing. Somebody actually fine-tuned it, right? And made it really playable.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Dying Light could be it's one of the best games I've ever played.
I don't know. I don't know actually.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've had so much fun, especially co-op, going in there and slashing, and I don't know, it depends on when you're playing it. I really enjoyed it. And I still need to play through the second one. I have.
We have about 30 hours in the VR version of Dying Light. We played it a lot. for a few days. And like I said, it was the only one that ever got me sick. And it wasn't the game that got me sick. It was the cutscenes. Cutscenes were flat and they were just jaggy and just super bad. And to the point where, and I put up with it for a few hours and I just said, Roots, I gotta get out. Can't do it anymore. And I went back and played it flat, but that game is great in VR. And, you know, I would definitely go back to it in VR if they had it, made it a little bit better. And yeah, we need somebody to do that.
Have any of you tried Stray yet? Stray mod?
Yeah.
Stray. That was really
very
cool.
good.
Yeah.
I did not change myself to look like Garfield though. I thought that was a little weird.
What?
You can get there's mods.
Oh,
you can
the
download.
mod. Yeah. I saw the mod. Yeah. So there was Stray. What was the latest ones? Ghost Wire.
Yeah, we just did that too.
Is that good?
Yeah, we just did that one.
Yeah, we just went
Yeah,
in there.
It's really good.
Yeah, it actually runs really well compared to some of the other Luke Ross mods. This one was a flat 90 for me from the get go. I didn't even have to tweak anything.
Nice.
His mods are getting better. I mean, his updates, every single one is better. I didn't look as good as Cyberpunk did, but I don't know if that, like I was saying on the show, I think there's less options to tweak. Like Cyberpunk had all sorts of shit you could tweak, and Ghostwire had like 7, and there just wasn't that much to change.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Really, when we're talking about this, is like, what stuns people in these mods? Is it the huge scale environments that they put you in, or is it the actual gameplay with these mods?
Yes.
For me, like for Red Dead 2, it's every, like Wes said, everything. It's the scale, the scope, the gun plays attached to your head, kind of like Lethal Weapon, Resident Evil 7, right? And so you're shooting things. You get that the slow down time, and then just the story, everything. It's one of the best games ever made. And what VR does is it makes it, even amplifies it, right? What, good or bad. And it's made it the best thing for me ever. And I think those open world games don't exist in VR, right? It's why I would love if they ever brought World of Warcraft into VR. It's why I couldn't get into Zenith, because I'm looking for the next level games. And
Zenith is simple for people who are into that kind of thing. That's the truth. Yeah.
It's not an MMORPG. It's a really cool game. It's
but
amazing.
Brad was saying
for what it is.
He was so excited at Zenith. I remember we bumped into each other and we went on a tour, and like he was so like excited about it. I was excited as well. It was one of those things because it was like kind of the first one that felt like it had depth. But yeah, sure enough, when you played it after a while, you realize that actually it wasn't as deep as we kind of thought it was going to be.
We got 7 VR people here. When was the last time any one of us were in Zenith?
Yeah,
It's been months.
40 and I stopped.
It's been a while, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to trash the game, because it is really cool for what it is. It's really cool. It's just not. It's not what it. For, like I've said before, for anybody that's loves MMORPGs or competitive ones, it's just not that. It's a really cool social experience, amazing world, and it's just it's cool for what it is, right?
I think I got more time out of that game for the money that I spent for it than almost all other VR games, though. So that there is that,
Except for After the Fall. That's the
that's
the game you can get. It just keeps going and going and going.
I think.
Have you played After the Fall, Brad?
I haven't played it that much, honestly. Regrettably.
Sorry.
That's really good.
I thought I'd check.
Well, I think to answer Brad's question, like when I think about what like a AAA game has that a VR game doesn't, and what you'll experience in something like a mod that you wouldn't experience in something that's built from the ground up, I think about like character models, animations, like voice acting, like all of that kind of stuff. Like that's coming straight from a AAA title. Like all those models, all that animation, all that voice acting, like the world building, like yes, scale is huge for sure, but just like the fidelity of everything, just like how high quality all of that stuff is. Like I feel like a lot of times in VR games, we are like forced to sacrifice some of those details, like we just see like a rigid avatar move from one side of the room to the other, as opposed to like something like in Red Dead Redemption where you lasso somebody off of their horse and like it's beautifully animated and it looks great, so I think that there's just like, to the point earlier, it's just budget. Like there's just so much money that goes into those that just by slapping a VR sticker on it, it automatically almost makes it better than anything that was built from the ground up, because it has all of those resources behind it.
For me personally, it's going from that game that you really enjoyed, like going into the game you really enjoyed. There's still that magic. Great. That's kind of like when you first ever played VR. I get that little moment of like, oh, this is what it's like to be in here. Like I get that. That's my thing personally.
I never played Skyrim as a flat game, by the way. I only played it in VR, and I was so grateful once I got in there and realized the scale of this game, how I could stay in here as long as I want, keep doing quests all day, keep encountering new characters all day, work on my trade skills, like put points in. Like there's just so much to do that most VR games don't have. So
I like what Wes said. I like what Wes said. You can do both, right? You can do both. And if it wasn't for both, how dead would PCVR be this last year? You know what I mean? It's been so slow, really. I mean, and modding has brought it back to life. I mean, there's so many people that are so jazzed up. We see it in Discords all the time, people talking about the new mod, the next mod. How many people were so upset when Luke Ross lost Red Dead and GTA 5? That everybody was talking about that for a month because it was such a bad thing. And we have gotten some good PCVR titles, but not enough. And to me, it right now, I am a pure PCVR guy. I love PCVR. And to me, this is what's holding it up right now.
Yeah, I kind of think I think it was, I don't know who quoted it, but I heard someone once say on a video, the Quest had held back VR by 5 years. But I thought that was one of the most incorrect statements I've ever heard. I actually thought it had held it up for 5 years. Like, I'm not saying it's given us high quality games, but what would anyone really have been doing for me personally after, I think it was 2000 maybe at 19 when PSVR 2 was like at its peak and there was a game a week and things was exciting. It literally just dropped massively, like 50-60%. There's no games. Like you're sitting there wondering what games are coming out. And yeah, like I know graphically it's gone backwards, but I think it had to bring people in. And like the technology advancement we've had in that very short space of time, it's going from a light tracked based fucking wired headset to a Quest. I don't know, man. I just think I think Quest has done amazing stuff.
Agreed.
I think both views are correct. Obviously, it has held gaming back to some extent. When you look at one of the best overall VR games that we have in all platforms considered, most of those games came out in 2016, 2017, and 2018. Even today,
Steam would confirm that actually, probably.
Yeah, and the games have taken a step back. But with that said, VR as a technology was dying. Just as recently as 3 years ago. I mean, there wasn't much going on in terms of growth in the sector. And what Quest has been is a proof of concept for investors to see, and game development studios to see that VR can work as a mass marketed product. And now you're starting to see all the money come back in because it was a successful proof of concept and people can now see the potential in it. Although people kind of understand now that this isn't something that's going to happen in a year. It's going to be more like a decade before it comes to fruition. But everyone now knows that it's going to get there. And I think we are benefiting, immensely from what Quest has brought to the table.
Yeah. When you look at other things in other parts of the world, right? If there was only Ferrari for cars, that's maybe the best, right? Or Lamborghini or some kind of supercar thing, but it's super expensive. No one's going to say, oh, your Lamborghini stinks compared to my Kia. But you know what? Like the Kia and like the budget cars are what people can afford. They're practical, you know what I mean? And they move, and the two help each other. And like, you have to be able to bring in the masses. You have to be able to appeal to everybody. And the Quest is getting us there. Then there is an upgrade path. people can spend as much as they want for the best experience that they could possibly get, or they can stay as low as they want. And there's the options. You have to have options. You can't just do the best thing ever and expect everyone to pay for it, because reality, you need money.
Plus, it was a stage. I mean, the stage it's all about different stages. If we went back in time to any old school consoles as they were released, I'm sure we would have been nitpicking the decisions being made back then, but we wouldn't be anywhere near we are without the Quest. Like it brought the mass appeal, or at least I guess it let everybody know it was out there. And but like Wes was saying, that the VR was dead. It was dying. It really was dying. If they'd done nothing different, it would have slowly faded, because there wasn't the user base. It was inaccessible for most people. Like Skiba just said.
It was weird going from like a solid PSVR channel to doing Quest stuff, but I actually went with the tide. It wasn't like, I felt like, it's not like I did it because I thought analytically it made sense. It was just where things were happening. It was just as simple as that. It wasn't even a conscious decision of, oh no, I won't do that because I'm doing this. It was just, oh, there's something to play on there. Oh, look, like you can play Super Hot without a cable. Like I haven't experienced that. All these different things. Super Hot's still amazing. So yeah, it was one of those things. To go back to modding, have you guys played modding inside a VR game? Contractors at the moment is fucking killing it. Like, have you guys experienced that at the moment?
I haven't been to Contractors for a while. It's good, huh?
I mean, I'm the same here. I haven't been in Contractors for a while, but when I did play that game, it's precisely what you're talking about. It's what really impressed me about it, is because I recognized maps in Contractors, modded maps, levels from Call of Duty that people had brought in to Contractors. That's what I thought was great. Like, I'd never played the game before, but I recognized where I was.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying, and you're right. It is it's impressive.
The only problem I have a problem. The only problem with that is the skins are great, but like my experience with Call of Duty was the fast gameplay, right? And that's why it's why I say Alvo is one of the best games. If they had better maps or more maps, I would say it probably is the best. But like it's weird to be in Nuketown and everything's slow paced. I don't have grenades flying everywhere. I don't have drones dropping shit and all the kill streaks, right? Yeah. And so like that's my biggest thing is I get in this world and I feel like I'm like halfway in, halfway out, and it's frustrating for me. It is amazing. They've really have those maps, especially like the airplane one where you're in there and like you get up on the escalator and you remember all these places.
Terminal,
but then I just want to I want to mix the two.
What about Halo? Was you ever a fan of Halo? Not online.
I was not.
See,
I loved Halo.
Guys, you've got to try Halo and Contractors. You've even got like the physics, the jumping physics, all the weapons feel right. It is an incredible experience. It's so close to what I imagined Halo Online would be.
Can we have like a CruCast, like Blood Gulch?
I fucking love that. Snipers only, swords only.
Let's do it.
That's proper. That sounds exactly what I'm talking about. The Call of Duty thing. Somebody needs to do the same thing for Nuketown or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree.
Things, right? It's super cool.
It'd be really cool if they could bring in kill streaks to Contractors. Imagine that. Like, as you said, you Alvo, you got the dogs, which is pretty cool. You know, I remember the first time I saw the dogs in Alvo, I was like, oh man, this brings back memories. Thank you ever so much for being here for the first episode. We're going to do 10 episodes, I believe, for this series. And it's been great. I don't think I'm going to do much editing on it either. You know, it's going to be.
No, I wouldn't touch anything. This is gold.
It's cool.
It's gold, Jerry. Gold.
Yeah.
Well, thank you ever so much. And I will see you all next week.
Sounds great.
Cheers,
Thanks, everybody.
Guys.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye, guys.